How do we wrap up our effort and get ready for Sunday? We need to double check the slides against the bulletin, create an 8:30 version if necessary, print notes for the Sunday morning clicker, and move the file to the church computer. And we need to make a final check at the church. You may want to have another review with one or two of the team members, or have Kate or Kathy take a look. Kathy's an awesome proofreader. As you are starting out, I'd recommend you have someone else check your work. Your last check should be against the bulletin, either emailed from Jamie or downloaded from the Friday email newsletter. Print it out, put it in front of you, and then go by line against your slides. So let's take a look. As I go slide by slide through here, greeting by the choir, call to worship. As you look through the responsive readings, is it easy for the congregation to understand their part, to be able to come in, to follow their train of thought to the next page if necessary? Could a nominally church first-time attender follow the reading? Then when we get to the hymns, get out your hymnal. Yes, the actual hymnal, and check the lyrics against it. There have been errors in the digital copy that we used for cutting and pasting. And double-check the verses in the bulletin against the ones in your own worship slides. As you are proofing the text, make a last check on readability and aesthetics. Is the phrasing such that it can be followed? Are there breaks between the pages that are easy to follow? Does it look good? Here's a case where it would have been better if I had melt the clouds of sin and sadness on one line, but I'll have to do with this, and this is the most readable way to do it. Now here was the case. It'd be better if chanting bird and flowing fountain were on one line, but that isn't going to happen. And as I take a look at it, chanting bird and flowing fountain, call us to rejoice in thee, seems to flow well, and it looks good. Enough proofreading. Let's assume that we have it letter perfect. The next step, if there's an 8:30 service that is different, we would normally have to make changes. So I'm going to go back up to the top. Greeting by the choir is not normally in the 8:30 service. I would have to delete this slide and then change the next on the previous slide. In addition, Kate, in most of her services now, adds a hymn in place of the greeting by the choir or introit, and that hymn would have to be inserted. And then later the anthem would have to be eliminated, and the next slide changed there. Final save. Save as. Okay, you've got the bulletin still in front of you. We're going to tag the file with the hymn numbers for easier searching later. So I'm going up here to File, Save As. Especially if we have used a previous version, we're going to eliminate any tags we might have there. And in this particular case, we have UMH 89, and going to the other side of the semicolon, Faith We Sing 2108, and Faith We Sing 2281. 81. Now, if we were saving the 8:30 service, we would also be adding Faith We Sing 2068, because that happens to be in the bulletin. And we save. In this particular case, yes, we want to replace it. We have a final one. Now, the last step is to get it ready for the clicker on Sunday. And for that, I'm going to go down here and select the slide sorter view. I'm going to highlight the first slide, scroll down, and highlight the very last slide. The purpose of this is going to be eliminate the background so that the slides are easier to read. I come up to Design, select on Hide Background Graphics, and lo and behold, that happens. Now I'm going to get ready to print. Print. We're going to print all slides. We're going to print 9 slides horizontal. This is a nuance. I'm going to do this again. I click this a second time scale to fit paper, and it makes it slightly bigger. Then I select pure black and white. I'll print that out and write either the 8:30 service or the 11 o'clock service, or if they're common, 8:30 and 11 on it, and get ready to go to the church. A couple of last things to do. I need to go back to design and unclick this. Actually, I've already saved it, so I could delete this, but just to be sure, I recover it that way. Now, assuming that I was at the church, I would have the Windows Explorer open. And I would find the file under Fairview 13. That's 2013. It's the second quarter. 5:12 in this particular case, highlighting that. And this is the 11 o'clock service. That's the 8:30 service. I right-click. Then I come down here to Send To, and from there I select Desktop. Now if I take a look at my desktop, here I have icons on the desktop that would allow me just to click and open those slides on Sunday morning. While I was at the church, I would open them up and make sure that the files are not corrupted, and check it for readability. If the saturation has to change or something like that, I'm able to make changes before the Sunday service. We're ready. Talk to you later.